Hey, well, good morning to you from Felix Day Live. We're down at the Viewpoint for a little while this morning, just for 10 or 20 minutes, maybe 10, 15, don't know. Just to see what a lovely day it is down here. It's quite quiet in the port. We've got two major ships and one smaller ship alongside at the port today. Quite quiet, really. But nonetheless, there are ships in, the port is working, so that's pretty good news, I think, really. And what we're doing is just having a little kind of refresher today to come down here, because I haven't been down here for ages and ages, I'm sad to say. Good morning to you, Brian. Yes, it is a fab day. I think it's going to be fabulous all day. One of the things we've got on today on this little clip is a look at the weather, which will be coming up in a couple of minutes. Well, possibly. And we shall see. There we go. So I'm just doing odd things, but I thought it was nice to come down here because we haven't actually done anything live from the port for quite a long time. It's an interesting one as well because there's some bits and pieces here. As we all know, obviously the weather's been really rather nice and fine and warm, and that's obviously encouraging, I guess, seaweed. I think this is all green seaweed that's got caught up. Probably, I don't know whether it gets an eddy around there, and perhaps it does. Don't know. And good morning to you, Paul. Hope you're keeping well. I hope. Why are you down here filming ships? The main answer to that, I suppose, is that there aren't many ships bobbing about around here at the moment at what we can only, I suppose, call reasonable hours. But there you go. So there's that bit of seaweed. Looks disgusting, doesn't it? I don't know. Would you fancy swimming in amongst it? At least it's better than the Turkish sea snot, I think they're currently calling it, which looks pretty nasty, I must say. So there's one large ship at the far end. There is one large vessel alongside berth 8, and I think there's one more other vessel alongside at I'm not sure whether that's 3 or 4. There you go. But anyway, not a large vessel, or not very large vessel alongside there. So things are quite quiet here, and we do worry a little bit, I guess, about how the guys are doing on the port, because it doesn't look as if it's been very busy for the last 2 or 3 days, 3 or 4 days. And I hope they're doing all right, and I hope they've got plenty of work to keep them going. I assume from what you read that there is plenty of work kicking about, but in reality we don't kind of see it, do we? We see the sort of exterior signs, ships alongside, and there's not many of those we kind of worry about, because I think, me like everybody else, we want our port to be successful and popular with the shipping lines. Although, to be honest with you, the way the shipping lines are working at the moment, it's looking increasingly that they're not too bothered, because they're making huge sums of money, we understand. This time last year, the rate for a 40-foot container from China to here was a couple of $1,000, and this year the rate from the Far East to this port is probably $10,000 or $15,000. We don't know. There are different numbers kicking about, but the rates for sea freight from the Far East to the UK and to North America as well, and the rest of Europe, have skyrocketed, as what I understand. What are you saying there, Paul? Because there isn't much to fall, it's far too hot. Roll on winter. My goodness, no, I can't stand winter. Not keen. But there you go. So whether a large increase in freight, what that's going to do to trade in general is a jolly good question. I don't know. It's going to damage, I think, some UK importers. It's going to make products more expensive, we understand. So we wait to kind of see, don't we? We're, as end consumers, we're kind of at the end of the chain. and we have to wait and see what comes along. Let's see if we can do you a little news report. I'm not convinced whether we can or let's do an overlay on this and see what we got. There we go. Look at that. Heavens above. That's the weather forecast for today from the BBC. They're saying that it's going to be sunny this morning, bright sunshine this morning and earlier this afternoon up until about 3 or 4 o'clock. And then it's going to start getting cloudier. And in the evening, it's going to be quite cloudy. It's going to be a warm night overnight, however, if you're interested. If you don't sleep well in the heat, as I do, then there you go. You might be awake early in the morning. So that's today's weather, standing up to about 25 degrees, same kind of temperature as yesterday. And who knows just how warm or otherwise it's going to be. In reality, we'll wait to see. So there you go. Okay, so that's the weather looking ahead to tomorrow. Sorry, to looking ahead to the rest of today. The trouble is you get carried away doing this, don't you? I do anyway. What a fool. Never mind. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that. Like that. Thank you. Don't mess me about, machine. And there we go. Morning, Jane Clark. Yes, it is a lovely day. It's beautiful out here, I have to say. It is absolutely delightful. And from my personal point of view, it's a good thing to do. Come out here in the morning, have a little sit around the place. I've already had an egg and bacon sandwich, so I don't need the cafe. But there you go. You can see that nothing much happening on berth 9. Can't see really whether much is happening. Good Lord. On berth 8. I'm interested in what's up at the end there. I might have a look at that. See what we can find up there. Let's just have a look. Let's have a little zoom in. Okay. I see someone's got a, not sure what that is. It's a large, looks like a box, looks like a container over the back reach of the crane. Don't know. Usually where they park cranes when they're not in operation. Who knows? Maybe one of the dock guys will tell us what's happening there, but no. In some ways, you know, I think it's interesting. We constantly have a look at what's happening over on the docks, and it does mean they get a little bit of oversight, which is quite good in some ways. Okay. But as you can see, it's a lovely morning. We're just going to have another couple of minutes of looking out there. Nothing much happening today. There isn't very much ship movement as far as I can see happening today. And we'll see what happens tomorrow and the next day. We might come back tomorrow. Who knows? See what the weather's going to be like. And someone suggested earlier that perhaps we should come out later this week during a thunderstorm. Now, that would be exciting, wouldn't it? Let's see what happens. Okay, this is Felixstowe Live. We've been doing one of our little bits down from the Viewpoint. It's very pleasant. It's very charming. The weather is looking good. Let's just give you another glimpse of that if you want it. Let's have a look at that again. There we go. And there's a nice little breeze as well. The breeze is kind of southwesterly, which is our prevailing wind in this area. And that does mean the breeze is usually not cold, but it sometimes just takes the edge off the heat and kind of blows the sweat away. What can you say? But we'll see. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Felixstowe Live, and we will, I hope, see you soon.